Ever since Chapter 2 Season 2, Jonesy has been one of those characters that has always been off to me. See, we never really exactly know where he came from or who was his family before then. All we know about him is that he worked for the IO presumably for thousands of years by this time frame. If we take in mind for the stuff that we know about Jonesy and stuff we know about the IO, they're very opposite. Today I'm going to show you that there's secrets about Jonesy that not even himself knows about. This is the Jonesy Theory. Okay, so from what a little bit we know about Jonesy, he does in fact have a family before in his life, before the Imagined Order in the first place. We know this from the Zero War comics, where he explains to Spider-Man that the Imagined Order were actually protecting him, his family. Yeah, I know Spider-Man was in the comics. Fortnite lore gets fucking crazy, I do gotta say this real quick. Jonesy explains to Spidey that basically his family is gone, that everything that happened with them, they all died. Seemingly died, if that's what the IO told him. Which I don't believe for a second that Jones's family just presumably died off screen and there was nothing to do anything about it except for just Jones to look at him. I don't think that's a correct assumption. I genuinely believe that his family isn't technically dead, or his family line, but we'll get to that later down the line in the video. Even though Jonesy's family must be presumed dead, we don't actually know who was his family. Like somebody who can pinpoint who they could be. Well, for now, we can really only theorize and pinpoint who could be his wife, since even when researching, there's really no other character on the Fortnite island who could be one of Jonesy's kids. I mean, it's all just a guess to be honest, so Jonesy's kids will probably be a mystery until they hint at it more in the future, or some random ass comment they probably might release down the line too. But just because the kids aren't able to be identified, that doesn't mean the wife can't, cause I have a good hunch who it genuinely might be. And this one line from the Chapter 2 Season 8 live event could genuinely be a good start to where we can find her. In the event, the scientist opens the bucket for us to escape to the bridge, as he leads us to meet with Jones at the Foundation. The Foundation asks Jones where his gun he lent Jones, and obviously Jones loses it. But after that, the Foundation says something very important.
We did it!
Where's my gun?
Okay, I may have dropped it in the 0 point.
Why does she make me keep saving you?
There. She? Who's she? For years since then, and even the confirmation Jones had a family, I had got all the details together, but never knew how to put it all together. But here it is. I believe that the She Foundation is talking about was the paradigm. Not just Brie Larson's paradigm, the OG one. The singularity. Alright, let's get this out the way. Yes, I am one of those people that genuinely believe that the singularity was the old paradigm and got replaced with paradigm for 659. I know Donald Mustard and everybody else says that, oh, Brie Larson's paradigm was supposed to be the original paradigm this whole time. We were definitely trying to hint at the singularity being the paradigm multiple times and her being an original character that was super important to the storyline, only for her to be some random ass Imagined Order builder or whatever the fuck. You see, there were so many plot holes to her character and the paradigm that are so excruciating, it's hard to really avoid. But I just need all you to stay with me and just go with singularity being the paradigm. Okay, so the paradigm was singularity, but how could she have been Jones' wife? We've never seen them interacted before, or if she was, then Jones wouldn't have let her risk her life-saving reality, since that's the reason why he left his family. Now, I have thought about those same questions, but I've come up with solutions for those plot holes to make the theory a little more convincing. We know that the paradigm that was from 659 did something to cause a rift in the 7, and a lot of the people from the community, especially me, kinda assumed that she worked for the Imagined Order, same as someone else, the singularity. Now this detail is extremely important, because if we go by the singularity and paradigm being the same person, then that would mean Singularity would have worked with the Imagined Order, which matches up considering tons of people in the community say that she was one of their builders. See, when the Monster vs. Mech event happened back in Chapter 1, Season 9, when the mech won and flew into space and then crash landed on the Ice Moon, which coincidentally, the Ice King was there. Well, his ass was still hiding after that trash ass lava event he did, spewing all that white stuff all over the island, did dip it like a dad like he dipped on them child support papers. I just wanted to yap real quick, the Ice King event was ass, I'm not gonna hold you at all. In Fortnite X Marvel Zero War issue number 1, the Visitor comes up with the plan to stop the Collider by reactivating the mech. But the only way to get it was to travel to the Ice Moon where it crashed, where Paradigm cut all comms to the IO and the 7. The Origin theorizes that when she cut comms, she basically was presumed dead. But quickly in issue 2, it was confirmed that she was not actually dead. The both Paradigms weren't actually dead. I genuinely believe that when the OG Paradigm crashed with the mech, Paradigm 695 was piloting it with her. Since they probably worked for the IO at the same time, what if when they crashed, Singularity decided to make Paradigm 695 a replacement? Since, with all Singularity has done, she may have felt like she couldn't have shown back up after betraying the 7, whether or not it was to backstab the IO in the process. So then figuratively, the Paradigm died, and Paradigm 695 took her place. Okay, so now that I conveyed it a little bit better, it makes the theory have a little more weight, just a little. So we've kind of proved that this theory has some validity to it. But one person that has been a major character as of recent has a lot of similarities to Jones. Hope. Okay, so this part's going to be a little short, but this is kind of what I wanted to explore a little bit, so bear with me real quick. Back in Chapter 1, Season 9, Jones and Pilly were locked in a bunker back in the event of Season 8 of that chapter for 8 years. It's theorized that it's estimated for 8 years, but I don't really know 100%, so yet again, that's just another thing that the community made up. During the Season 9 Fortnite quest, we discovered that Jonesy predicts all the events leading up after the Mech vs. Monster fight, and even the end event in Season X. What this tells us is that Jonesy can see through the future. Yeah, we know Bunker Jonesy did it, but that doesn't mean Jonesy never had it either. Back in Chapter 2, Season 8, yet again, it's revealed that Dark Jonesy has the power to see the future, but it has been disabled for him, so we had to get a couple scrolls from the IO to regain his abilities to see the future again. Maybe in the same way how Bunker Jonesy had his epiphany in the bunker, just like Dark Jonesy. It is not the possibility that a lot of the Jonesies has the same abilities. Again, Jonesies can be different with a coat of paint. That doesn't mean they're entirely different as personality or abilities wise. So with the evidence being right in front of us, all of this is not out of the realm of possibility. Somehow all these Jonesies have the same abilities. We've just found 2 of them with the same exact one, albeit in different circumstances. That doesn't mean half, if not all, the other snapshots doesn't have the same power either. They might have it, it's just dormant and not activated. Just like how Dark Jonesy needs to activate his, maybe at some point we can see that Jonesy might need to reactivate his as well. And let's not forget, back in Chapter 5, when Pandora's box opened, Hope's power started to kick into overdrive and got way more powerful than it already was. Just like how Dark Jonesy needed all them scrolls just to complete the ritual so he can see into the future. Somehow, Jonesy and Hope are connected deeper than we actually even realize by something. So, what if the family Jones left behind, he really didn't at the end of the day? What if his kids that grew old started having their own families? Started having their own family line. And one day out came Hope. She can see into the future just like Jones. It's not out of possibility either. All those thousands of years of Jonesy wondering where his family was, he finally found it without knowing it. At the end of the day, he found Hope. You know, this theory actually went very well, but there's something missing. We have his family, but what about the home? I mean, yeah, you know, Jones had to have a home to actually even procreate and actually have a family. So what happened to that home? We know that home is docile. We know it's very vulnerable and it's very dangerous for anybody to be there unprotected. Oh no. It's been right in front of us this entire time. I just had a realization. What if the reality Jones left, the one that also his family left, was the save the world reality? Oh shit. Way before time, and when all the realities were ever made by the 0 point, it was nothing. Like real shit. It was just darkness. Until its mortal enemy came and took the one thing it wanted. Everything. The 0 point is a being of creation, whilst the nothing is a being of destruction. So one of them existing to each other is a huge problem for the other. So because the 0 point created these realities, the nothing decided to take back what it thought was theirs, to make them the only reality, the last reality. So with a quick summary, the nothing is a terrifying threat that seems almost impossible for anything to defeat it. And even the times we've encountered it, the only thing we could ever do was, well, run. But isn't the Save the World story not canon? And even if it is, there's no way the nothing is the same as BR and Save the World. It's genuinely impossible. That's actually true. At first, when I was scripting and researching for this video, I thought there was no actual genuine way to connect these pieces together. That's until I saw a quest from Save the World that kind of describes what the nothing is, and it kind of supports that the nothing is the same in both BR and Save the World. In the remote control quest, Desiree is one of the Save the World characters that were setting up a plan to detonate the bomb to the other side. I'm assuming it's supposed to be the last reality or maybe the spirit realm of sorts, considering the dark presence has some connection to the last reality, but I could talk about that more in another theory. Here was the quest talking about the nothing.
The detonation process cannot begin until it's completely through the rift. You're talking about remote detonation after it's gone through the rift? Yes. It's not gonna work. Way too much interference. I know, but we don't have another choice. There's more. This might just be the storm corruption talking, but man, do I feel like giving up and dying. Do not joke about that. All right, fine. It's just really a bummer out here.
It's the nothing. At least that's what I took to calling it when I was on the other side. You can't let it in. It'll drag you down and swallow you whole.
Drag you down and swallow you whole. All the things Still World Carlos said and the stuff that Ray described kind of sounds just like in BR. Every time the nothing has been in the story, it's usually reshaping or changing a person. Maybe like Raz, Bites, and Daigo, or even the 7 in chapter 7. Theoretically, we still don't know what happens to them now, but my point still stands. We're all signs of the last reality, and especially the nothing. So if we take everything that we know about the nothing, if we take everything I know about Jonesy being from the Save the World reality isn't that long of a stretch. I mean, think about it. He has future seeing powers, and what we know from Dark Jonesy is that he ended up losing it, but somehow gaining it back through the nothing. Even now, Hope can't even look in the future. In chapter 7 right now in the current season, as I'm recording, Hope can no longer see the future. She only sees nothing. That isn't such a coincidence. It's more of telling us that the nothing is disabling her ability to see the future. The stuff that we know about the last reality from the new Chapter 7 season is that they've basically been studying us for billions of years, ever since the inception of BR, and honestly, even with this theory, the inception of Save the World. But with that information, it kind of also alludes to something very, very interesting about Jones and Hope. Jonesy getting his powers has had to do with something with the nothing. I don't believe Jonesy had his powers innated, but I do believe that Jonesy has had this gifted from the nothing. Whether it is he got it from an external source, we don't know, but him randomly getting it out of nowhere makes zero sense as well. But if we go with that, then that means because Jones and Hope are related through this theory, that means that the nothing has been giving Hope information and giving Hope these visions to set up the plans that are going to happen in Chapter 7 Season 1. And what's funny enough is that this also goes in with the fact of why Paradigm, if this theory is correct, wants Jones. It's not just because she wants to make sure her husband is safe. That's not just it. Paradigm knows that Jonesy has these powers, and that's why Jonesy is so important. We always ask ourselves why Jonesy is important. This is the exact reason why. He has these innate abilities to see into the future and to know what happens so we can defeat the nothing. The problem is, they don't know what the extent of those powers are. And that includes getting it from the nothing and possibly manipulating Jonesy just like Hope. The nothing and the last reality most likely overtook the IO, which caused them to have to flee to BR, but in the process, a lot of the characters were issued to the imagined order. I mean, look how many damn snapshots there are of Ramirez. I mean, it's not out of the possibility since their reality is so dangerous. And oh, oh boy, Ramirez isn't the only default that has multiple skins. Look how many defaults have so many snapshots over the years of BR. This really isn't a coincidence at this point, since all they're doing is being worked to the bone to fight the one thing that destroyed their home by the manipulative IO. And if you still don't believe me that the IO was behind a lot of this and the reason why a lot of these people are indebted to them, then what is this picture? The IO have been here since the start, and the nothing has been behind it all along.
I've dedicated my life to the Order. I've given everything. And for what? To just sit back and watch reality end? That's not who we are.
And that is the Jonesy theory. This is a little bit different from my channel. And listen, I know old subs, this is kind of weird, but again, I talk about anything. This is a channel where it's yap time. And, you know, look at the description. You know, you should expect this by now, okay? I'm a jack of all trades. But yeah, this theory has been stuck in my head for since chapter 4. And I never really built up upon it because there was not a lot of evidence. But even now finding it now, I found a lot, and I think this theory is convincing. Yeah, there's a little bit of patchy sides here and there, but I still think I did good. But yeah, this took a while. Man, Jesus, this took a while. Yeah, I just wanted to, you know, put this out here since I just didn't want this to stay dormant and just be left, you know, dusty, raggedy, sitting in a corner, slipping on semen and ish, no ASAP Rocky. It being disappeared when I'm gone, you know what I'm saying? At least I gotta put it out there. And even though it's a huge risk, even on this channel, to even put it out there, I have to take a risk and be uncomfortable. So if this was a good video, just enjoy it. You don't have to like and subscribe, nothing. I don't make you do anything. If you enjoyed the video, you already done it in the first place. So I gotta remind you, okay? And if you want to see me consistently, go and check out my main channel, because I'm there consistently. I'm not trying to tell y'all to subscribe to that channel either, but if you want to see me more and see me unfiltered, that's the channel y'all want to see. Now listen, that doesn't mean I'm an exclusive content creator for Fortnite. I'm just me. I want to make this channel about me, Riah, not the topics on this channel. You gotta like me for me, you feel me? If I do a random video now and then when I'm talking about a TV show, if you mess with it, you mess with it. If you don't, you don't. But again, I love y'all. Thank you for watching. And yeah, my name is Riah. This is my second channel.